Hello students. So once again I am here in front of you to meet you regarding the molecular basis of inheritance. In previous lecture we already completed the historical background. We already completed how the replication of DNA it was there. We already completed how the packaging of the DNA it is there in case of what you called as prokaryotic type of cell and in case of eukaryotic type of cell. In this lecture, we want to complete the protein synthesis mechanism and in addition to that, some part of related to that of what you call as genetic code. So now, first of all, we want to see how the protein synthesis mechanism it is there. Determination of the sequence of amino acids by DNA in a polypeptide through mRNA is known as protein synthesis. Hence, the central dogma of protein synthesis, it is there in front of you, I kept. That is DNA transcribed into that of mRNA and mRNA, it is translated to that of protein. So what is the meaning of by synthesis of mRNA on one of the DNA strands of DNA, it is known as transcription. And what is the meaning of translation? So synthesis of polypeptide chain with the help of various codons which are found on the mRNA. Accordingly, amino acids, they are linked with each other. Hence, we want to see first of all what is the meaning of transcription and where the transcription occur. So let's see the first point we want to see from the protein synthesis, that is called as the transcription. Synthesis of mRNA on one of the strands of DNA is known as transcription. So here I kept the diagram in front of you. This diagram you never found in your textbook, isn't it? So that's why with the help of this diagram, I want to explain how the transcription mechanism it is there. Central dogma I already explained. So let's see about the transcription. During transcription, information of only one strand of DNA is copied into RNA. This strand of DNA acts as template. Enzyme RNA polymerase catalyzes the formation of RNA transcript. DNA is located in nucleoid of prokaryotes and in nucleus of eukaryotes. DNA transcription takes place in nucleus in eukaryotes, whereas translation occurs in cytoplasm. DNA transfers information to mRNA, which then moves to ribosomes. Transcription occurs in the nucleus during G1 and G2 phase of cell cycle. DNA has promoter and terminator sites. Transcription starts at a promoter site and stops at a terminator site. Actually, the process of transcription in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes involves three stages, that is initiation, elongation and termination. Transcription unit. Each transcribed segment of DNA is called a transcription unit. See the diagram properly which is there in front of you. So that's why the diagram, the parts, various parts I can show with the help of arrow also. So with the help of arrow, I want to show whatever the different parts are there. Each transcribed segment of DNA is called a transcription unit. It consists of promoter, the structural gene and a terminator. See here, the promoter you are observing here. The second part, it is called as this is called as the promoter unit you are observing. This is called as the structural unit you are observing, and this one it is called as the terminator. So I hope you are observing these parts properly here. Now I want to explain about the number one part, that is called as the promoter. The promoter is located towards 5th prime end of structural gene. Of course, 5th prime end of the structural gene you are observing. So I shown that is the whatever the part it is there. That is upstream. It is a DNA sequence that provides binding site for enzyme RNA polymerase. So I try to show the RNA polymerase also along with that of the sigma factor here. Enzyme RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase binds to specific promoter. In prokaryotes, the enzyme recognizes the promoter by its sigma factor subunit. So I shown here the sigma factor also. The structural gene. Two strands of DNA have opposite polarity. DNA dependent RNA polymerase catalyzes polymerization in fifth carbon atom to 3 carbon atom, that is 5' end to 3' end direction. So the DNA strand having 3' end to 5' end polarity acts as a template. Now see here, that's why this entire DNA molecule you are observing, that is called as the template DNA molecule. Okay, on which actually the synthesis of new what you called as mRNA it is there. The sequence of bases in this strand is same as in RNA, where thymine is replaced by uracil. It is the actual coding strand. The information on this strand of DNA is copied on mRNA. This is that's why it is called as the sense strand. So the coding strand it is there, or the sense strand it is there. This entire structural part you are observing. After binding to promoter, RNA polymerase moves along the DNA and causes local unwinding of DNA duplex into two chains in the region of gene. Exposed adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine bases project into nucleoplasm. Only one strand functions as template and the other strand is complementary, which is actually a coding strand. The ribonucleoside triphosphates join to bases of DNA template chain. As transcription proceeds, the hybrid DNA RNA molecule dissociates and makes mRNA molecule free. When RNA polymerase reaches the terminator signal on the DNA, it leaves DNA and fully formed mRNA, that is primary transcript, is released. As the mRNA grows, the transcribed region of DNA molecule becomes spirally coiled and attains or regains double helical form. In bacteria, mRNA does not require any processing because it has no introns. Prokaryotes possess only one type of RNA polymerase. In eukaryotes, there are three types of RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase 1 transcribes ribosomal RNA, RNA polymerase 2 transcribes mRNA, and heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Hence, RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for transcription of tRNA and small nuclear RNA. That is small nuclear RNA you can say here. Transcription unit and the gene. The DNA sequence coding for mRNA or tRNA or rRNA is defined as a gene. Cistron is a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide. A single structural gene is transcription unit is said to be non-cistronic, whereas a long segment of DNA having set of various structural genes in one transcription unit is referred as a polycistronic. Structural genes in eukaryotes have interrupted non-coding sequences, that is introns. The coding sequences or express sequences are defined as exons. Only exons appear in processed mRNA in eukaryotes. So that's why the introns and the exons I am showing here. That's why the three steps they are mentioned here after actually the transcription mechanism it is there. So this is that is called as the processing part it is there. So processing of heterogeneous RNA, that is actual mRNA. In eukaryotes, forms of RNA transcribed from DNA are called primary transcripts. Such a transcripts undergo changes called processing or maturation before becoming functional. Primary transcript is non-functional and contains both exons and introns. During processing, only introns are removed by the process called splicing. So that's why I kept the splicing part in front of you. See, this is the step it is there, that is called as the splicing mechanism. Exons are joined in a definite sequence order by DNA ligase enzyme. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA undergoes the process of capping and tailing. In capping, methylated guanosine triphosphate is added at fifth carbon end. So methylated addition of methyl guanosine triphosphate I shown in the diagram. Please try to observe this one. That's why this mechanism it is called as the capping. The next one that is called as entailing. The third and the last step it is there in the processing unit here. Entailing, polyadenylation take place in 3' end. It is the fully processed heterogeneous RNA, now called mRNA. For translation of mRNA is transported out of the nucleus through nuclear pore. Thus, in this manner, we completed how the transcription mechanism it is there. Now, what is important in the transcription? That is, transcription unit is important. Say, yes, you are observing this is called as the nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope, which we already seen in 11th standard. Say the two DNA strands, they are separated. One strand start with the 5' end and the third, it end into 3' end. Another strand start with the 3' end and end into 5' end. That's why this one it is called as the coding strand. That's why this one it is called as the template DNA strand. So accordingly, whatever the coding strand it is there, it deciding the nucleotide sequence on the mRNA. See, this is called as the synthesizing mRNA. So that's why we completed how the what you called as protein synthesis mechanism it is there. That is the first part we seen, that how the transcription mechanism it is there. Very important point you have to remember here, that is called as the transcription unit is very important from this point, isn't it? So that's why after transcription, of course, we want to see here the next step, that is called as the translation mechanism. See, in the beginning of this lecture only I mentioned what is the meaning of translation. But before we go to that of the translation mechanism, it is very important thing that we want to see here, that is called as the genetic code part. It is very important. Many of the students, they not understand what is the meaning of genetic code, how the genetic code it is there. So for that purpose, now in this lecture only we want to see here the next part, that is called as the genetic code. But before we see the genetic code, we want to see with the help of video how the transcription mechanism. Here you are observing the video of the transcription mechanism. Now we want to see, all of us, how the transcription mechanism it is there. So promoter sequence, recognition site, terminator end, which I already mentioned in the explanation. RNA polymerase core enzyme, sigma factor, RNA polymerase holoenzyme. So at the one end, they get attached here to the transcription unit. Hence, you are observing closed complex it is there. But due to this, the two DNA strands, they now separate from each other. Open complex formation, that's why. Ribonucleoside triphosphates, they are available in the nucleoplasm with the help of pink color structures. These are here. So one by one, these ribonucleoside, they are added to that of the template DNA strand to synthesize the actual mRNA. The sequence of nucleotide, it is decided by the coding strand, another strand. So you are observing simultaneously After synthesis of mRNA, coiling of the DNA also it is there. Simultaneously unwinding of the DNA it is there. Open complex formation it is there. And one by one, nucleoside triphosphate, nucleoside triphosphate, nucleoside triphosphates, they are added here. Hence the chain of mRNA formation it is there. So our RNA DNA hybrid region you are observing. Template stand I already mentioned about that. Direction of transcription you are observing. In this manner, the RNA, mRNA formation it is there. So synthesized mRNA you are observing. Rho factor protein it is there, which is found at the termination end, that should be separated. So terminator site you are observing. That's why the stem loop formation it is there, of course, of mRNA. Hence the rho factor come to the terminator end, and all these structures they are separated from each other. Thus, with the help of mechanism of video, we seen how the replication of DNA it is there. So few points I want to discuss with you regarding the what you called as the genetic code. Very important point. So actually we want to see the translation mechanism, but for observing the translation mechanism it is necessary to see what is the meaning of genetic code and what are the different discoveries or important discoveries regarding the genetic code that we want to see. It is already known that DNA is a master molecule of cell that initiates, guides, regularizes and controls the process of protein synthesis. To perform this complicated function, it must carry the requisite information for the synthesis of proteins. Obviously, this information has to be varily located in the DNA itself. The site for storing this information lies in the sequence of nucleotides, that is nitrogen bases, as evidenced by Yanofsky and Sarabhai in 1964. About 20 different types of amino acids are involved in the process of synthesis of proteins. DNA molecule has 4 types of nitrogen bases to identify these 20 different types of amino acids. Question arises then, how is it possible that 20 types of amino acids are encoded by 4 types of nitrogen bases? According to FHC Crick, this information is stored in the form of coded language, that is cryptogram, called genetic code, that contains code words. Those are called as codons, each one specifying or representing specific amino acid. Genetic code therefore is a collection of base sequences that correspond to each amino acid. A single nitrogen base in a codon, that is singlet codon, will encode for the only 4 different types of amino acids. A combination of 2 nitrogen bases, doublet codon, will specify only 16 different types of amino acids. Hence, a combination of 3 nitrogen bases, that is triplet codon, will specify 64 different types of amino acids. Hence, G. Gamow in 1954 suggested that in a codon there must be combination of 3 consecutive nitrogen bases that will be sufficient to specify 20 different types of amino acids. Thus, there would be 64 different codons, code words, in the dictionary of genetic code, and that each code word has to be a triplet codon. Every 3 consecutive nucleotides in DNA will constitute a triplet codon. Genetic code is a triplet code, was evidenced first by Crick in 1961 using frame shift mutation. What is the meaning of frame shift mutation? We'll see that later on. However, M. Nirenberg and Mathai were able to synthesize artificial mRNA which contained only one type nitrogen base, that is uracil, and that's why it is called as the homopolymer. What is the meaning of this? You only containing uracil, 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 continuously chain of uracil you will observe. This synthetic polyuracil sequence was transferred to protein synthesizing enzymes. A small polypeptide molecule was produced or formed by the linking of phenylalanine molecules. What this indicate? Phenylalanine molecules. This explains that UUU codes for phenylalanine. Later, different homopolymer codons were deciphered. Codons formed by two or more bases were also tried. So historical background of genetic code, it is not completed. We have to see here whatever this one you are observing, that is called as the dictionary of genetic code you are observing. But whatever the historical background it is there, we want to continue keeping the genetic code history in front of you. Dr. Hargobind Khurana devised a technique for artificially synthesizing mRNA with repeated sequence of known nucleotides. By using synthetic DNA, Dr. Khurana prepared chains of polyribonucleotides with known repeated sequences of 2 or 3 nucleotides. For example, CUC, UCU, CUC, UCU. This resulted in the formation of polypeptide chain having 2 different amino acids placed alternately, that is leucine and serine, leucine and serine, leucine and serine, like that. Similarly, polynucleotide chain with 3 nitrogen base repeats gave polypeptide chain with only 1 amino acid, that is, for example, CUA, 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 leucine, 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 so on. Later, Severo Oka established that the enzyme polynucleotide phosphorylase was helpful in polymerizing RNA with defined sequence in template independent manner, enzymatic synthesis of RNA. Finally, Nirenberg, Mathai and Oka deciphered all 64 codons in the dictionary of genetic code. See the dictionary I kept in front of you. Similar kind of dictionary, it is already there in your notebook or textbook also. That's why please refer that textbook, and in that they have already guided that what about the what you call as first position of these 4 nitrogen bases, which is the second position of the nitrogen base in this triplet codon, and which is the third position. So it is already there. Now these students always ask me whether it is necessary to learn this dictionary by heart. Yes, students, those who are interested to give their NEET examination, for them only it is necessary to prepare this dictionary chart by heart. But others, it is not necessary to prepare this chart by heart. Don't worry about that. Be relaxed, isn't it? And even NEET students, if you want to prepare, you have to prepare on regular basis. Not necessary within one day you have to prepare this chart by heart. Not necessary, isn't it? So it takes time. That's why you take the time to prepare this chart. During replication and transcription, a nucleic acid is copied to form another nucleic acid. These two processes are based on complementary principle. During translation, genetic information is transferred from a polymer of nucleotides to a polymer of amino acids. Here, complementary principle does not exist. It is evident that change in nucleic acid, that is genetic material, results in the change in amino acids of proteins. This clearly explains that genetic code directs the sequence of amino acids during synthesis of proteins. Hence, as the time it is not allowing us, only the few minutes are left. That's why we want to see here what about the what you called as few points regarding the chart of dictionary of genetic code. See here, students, I want to show here how it is prepared. It can be prepared for your learning purpose. So it is mentioned here the first letter. First letter means whatever the first position of uh, the four nitrogen bases it is mentioned: uracil, cytosine, adenine, and guanine. Okay. So the second letter it is mentioned, that is second position of one of the nitrogen bases from the four, that is uracil, cytosine, adenine, and guanine. And what you are observing, third position letter it is there, that is UCAG, 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 as four are there. So that's why 64 what you call as the codons are possible here. One important thing you are observing in this one, that is called as the stop codon, it is there. So at the three places stop codon it is there. You can observe this chart properly, and whatever the three stop codons are there, you can find out. So here UGA it is considered as a stop codon, UAA it is considered as a stop codon, and another third codon you can find out. So now I want to show how the preparation it is there. The first letter U it is taken, the second letter U it is selected here, and the third letter, that is U, it is selected here, and that's why you are observing. Second point it is there, the U first letter, second letter U it is selected, and the third position cytosine it is selected, UUC. So both these codons, they are coding for phenylalanine. Whereas first two UU, UU, and whatever the third position, that is adenine you are observing, and here you are observing third position guanine it is there. So that's why that is UUA and UUG, it is leucine you are observing. So that's why two codons, they are coding only one amino acid. This indicate two codons you are observing what you called as one amino acid. And we want to see here what is the meaning of this one. We want to see characteristic features of genetic code, and that characteristic feature of genetic code we want to see in the next lecture. So students, today we completed the central dogma of protein synthesis. The first part of the protein synthesis, that is transcription, we completed. And in addition to that, the historical background, that is about the genetic code, we completed. And in addition to that, how the dictionary of genetic code can be read. So that also I guided in this lecture. Now the second part of what you called as protein synthesis, it is left, that is what you called as the translation mechanism. But before that, we want to see the characteristic feature of genetic code. Now that's why we want to stop here only, and we want to continue our lecture next time. Thank you very much, students.